So now we're going to jump into how to create directories. So we know how to create files, we know how to view them now. We've used VI to actually make a few edits, and in this case we just want to make some more directories here. So what if I wanted to make a temporary directory to store files? I do this a lot, where I say, okay, I need to move files over here. I'm gonna delete them afterward, but I'm just going to store them in a temporary directory. So I'm going to clear the screen and I'm going to list the contents. And so we see the files, we see my directory, but I just want to make a temporary directory here. So I'm going to use the mkdir command, and that's how we'll type it, mkdir. So make directory, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to call it my temp directory, if I could type. All right, and when I hit enter and do a listing, we notice I have a new directory called my temp directory. I can list the contents of my temp directory. There's nothing in there, it's just an empty directory. So that's very useful. I can change into there. I can touch a sample file, and whenever I list it, I now have a sample file in my temp directory. So like I said, that's a very quick way to create a directory on the file system. Another thing I wanted to point out too, I'll go back a directory and do the listing, and what you'll notice is it created my temp directory as my user because I'm the one who created it. So that's an important thing to know. Whoever you are, that's who the directory will be created as. And then the permissions are also the same, just because that's the default permissions on the system. So a couple quick things to note there. One other thing I want to tell you about mkdir, because it is useful, is let's say you need to make multiple directories. So what if I wanted to make a bunch of folders for a team or my company? So I've got my company, and then in my company I want to have a sales team, and I want to, within sales, I want to have my online sales and then my in-store sales. Well, I could do them all separately and change in and do it, but what I'll do is I'm going to clear the screen and I'm going to do mkdir again, but I'm going to use a -p flag. So this is, I remember it by making your previous directories. And so I said we'd have, let's make my company, and then I want to make a sales directory, and then I want to make an online directory. So what I'll do is, if I do this, rather than it, actually I'll show you what happens if I don't use -p really quickly. So I'm going to hit enter. It can't create this. Why? Well, because my company doesn't exist. The sales directory doesn't exist. So it's just looking the furthest down to make the online directory there. So when I come up, I'm going to add -p. Now when I hit enter, the command prompt comes back. If I do a listing, I see my company. If I do a listing of my company, I see the sales directory. And then if I do sales, I see online. And now I can do the same thing again. I technically at this point don't need the -p, but what I can do is I can go ahead and type in store, and when I hit enter, now, and just another quick tidbit, what I'm doing is I'm hitting up on the arrow keys. This shows me my previous history. I just want to make sure that I was sharing that with you guys, so that way you know how I'm getting this, getting these commands up so quickly. We'll cover these in another video, maybe a little bit more in depth, but just for now, just know I'm using the up key to find my previous commands and run them again. So like I said, in this case, I want to check my company and then the sales directory. There we go. I've got a quick online directory and in-store along with the sales and my company directories. So very easy, very quick to make multiple directories with all of the previous ones necessary to use on the file system.